Hello, I'm Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, the host of Nifty Business, where we highlight NFTs and explore Web 3.0 as we move from pure speculation to creating real-world value. So, I'm sure you'll agree that the people that are most welcome on the internet are marketers, right? No, that's just a joke, because I know the people that are most hated on the internet are the marketers, because there's a saying that marketers ruin everything. And as someone who's coming from the marketing background, I can totally appreciate that because it is absolutely true. What marketers tend to do is look at a different platform, see how things are being used, look at all the data, and then start to test different things, because the ultimate goal is to figure out how to scale that in order to make a profit. And that's what marketers do better than anyone, and especially on the internet. Because in the olden days of print marketing and all sorts of different things, it was much slower and much more expensive. However, with online marketing, as far as creating content, putting out different things, having a test group, you can find millions of people within a second. It is much easier. So I know this is an overlooked sector. Not very many people are even thinking of what marketers are doing in the space as far as Web3. However, some interesting things are happening here. And one of the most interesting areas, I would say, is course creation. So in case you did not know, the self-education industry is absolutely exploding. That every time I hear the statistics of how many people are actually buying courses and in this industry, it's going up exponentially. And as someone who has spent a fortune on various courses and information, just learning different things, that is something I absolutely appreciate, because even my marketing degree, I often joke and say that the $100,000 or whatever it was that I spent in college is not even comes close to the information that I learned as far as buying courses and masterminds and all these different groups. And one of the most interesting things that I saw recently is when I was browsing around and I was checking out a couple different content creators, I realized that they were offering information. Well, that is nothing new. So for example, if someone has a ebook that they want to do an introductory information or a checklist or whatever it might be, and then that brings people into the world of that particular marketer, content creator, of course, then they end up buying different things, whether it's a course, a membership, or services, whatever it might be that particular influencer or creator, I should say, is making and putting out there. Well, it just brings you up in tiers of ladders. And one thing that stuck out to me was when I was looking at these different tools and services and checklists that were being offered, there was a lot of options I was seeing from a particular creator that allowed access via token gated. So of course I had to go and check this and start to look into it, and it just opened up a whole bunch of ideas. Now this is something that is not new. I've covered it on the show as far as selling information. For example, the Crypto Tech Women, their whole thing is the educational platform that is token gated. Well, as far as what's going on with marketers, these checklists and things that would be normally sold, I'm noticing that some people are really testing this out to see, well, rather than selling this for $10 here, $20 here, $50 here, what if I sold an NFT to a particular person that would give them access to that stuff? So if you go to that person's website, you'll still see, okay, this could be purchased a la carte for those prices. Or the other option is to go mint the NFT and you'll have access to all of that stuff and anything that is added to the catalog. And I think that's very interesting in the sense that there's ongoing utility being added to a particular NFT. And if marketers can figure this out, I think there could be a lot that could be used in the greater NFT project in general. Because one thing that we are lacking is the attention of people and keeping them in the ecosystem. Some people literally just come in to mint, hopefully get something rare, and then if not, 10 minutes after reveal, they're going to dump it on the floor and move on to the next project. However, with marketers coming into the space, it's usually not some sort of profile picture, a degen play. It is someone who is definitely coming in for that particular information that is being put out, and that marketer has the ability now to token gate that information and be able to keep someone in that ecosystem. And the interesting thing is, once someone has a wallet, having that information, just being able to communicate back and forth, whether it be airdrops or other services, you could do it all via that wallet address. And I think it's very interesting because it starts to paint out a bigger profile picture. So as far as market research goes, now if someone notices that 80% of their customers happens to enjoy collecting NFTs with some sort of gamification or some game element to it, well, guess what? that marketer that is putting out that content, that information, or whatever it might be, can then figure out, well, since all of my buyers, all the people that are holding my NFT tends to like gamification, well, how am I going to increase that gamification within the content and the things that I'm selling? Because if they like gamification all around, well, guess what? If I can add gamification elements to what I am doing, then it's going to even make them more excited, bring in their friends and so forth. And that is something I think is very interesting with how marketers are going to use this space. And again, I understand that no one really welcomes marketers and rolls out the red carpet because they're happy to show up. However, I think that is just very interesting going forward. And of course, the way this market is going, I've covered it many times that right now it is not the most stable area. Things aren't just launching and coming out and just going to the moon. So of course, these marketers are going to be a valuable resource to this community as a whole, because one thing that marketers are good at is telling a story and connecting all the dots. And that is what's missing from a lot of NFTs. Yes, the art might be amazing. However, when it comes to connecting with that buyer, connecting with the audience, and giving them a valid reason to have an emotional tie to whatever art piece it is, the NFT or whatever, the project, well, that is something that is lacking, because a lot of the time what is being presented by the founders and even the content managers within the community, it is not a very marketable, not a very palpable presentation that is going to just lure people in. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to make this thing go much past these JPEGs that are locked away in some wallet or locked behind a screen. We're trying to figure out a way to make it much more tangible, something with real world utility and value. And I think marketers are very good at presenting that, because there's a saying in marketing that you don't present the product, you're presenting results, because people at the end of the day, what they're buying is not the tech, is not the whatever, the widget. What they're actually buying is a particular result. Whether that result is making you look beautiful, helping you to lose weight, helping you to get more friends, be more charming to the other sex, whatever it might be. It is the result. So when a marketer is presenting something, it is not going to be a step-by-step rundown of all this technical aspect. It is just going to simply say, okay, this is the destination. If you want to go there, this is how you get there. And I think that is a very interesting, and again, that is something that is really lacking with this. There is all sorts of different things. There's the art side, there is the technical side, there's the community side, and I feel like some projects and master one area of this, but then they're lacking putting it all together in a way that it just excites people. And again, that's where marketers come in. So as marketers are testing this course creation and testing the ways of getting into this whole thing and using the data and all these different touch points, I think some interesting things are going to come from other NFT projects. Even though one-of-one artists, the people that are doing all sorts of different things, have been in the space for a good while, they still aren't really masters of marketers. So unless they're in the space and have a massive following, have made the name for themselves early, and just really put in their time and everything, and everyone's looking for them to release something and do some great things, that is very hard to get started. And anyone that has ever launched an online campaign, whether it is advertising on Facebook, doing YouTube content that is trying to get people to get back to your business or whatever it is, you know that it is trial and error. It is hit and miss. And the problem that most people, as far as NFTs projects, at least the ones that are really running this thing as a business and take it very seriously, is that they are rolling things out on a slow timeline. Things take forever. We're always building. Well, guess what marketers do? Marketers literally just throw out in quantity and see what sticks, gets a feel of what works, what the people want, and then guess what? Doubles down on that. So that is why I'm actually excited to see what comes out of all this as more marketers are coming into the space. And I know a lot of people might not be as excited as I am. However, I think it's just very interesting development. So keep that one very short and sweet. There's things to look out for: courses, information, token gated, and it's going to be a lot more prominent from people that you might not even associate with being Web3 influencers or Web3 creators. They just happen to know how to sell information, and they're good online marketers. And this opportunity, as far as being able to use this technology for good and all those different touch points, is going to bring out some interesting things that I think communities will be able to take, replicate, and bring back and help their community to have more value and so forth. So I'd love to know what your thoughts about this are. How do you feel about marketers coming into the space? Feel free to reach out to me at Tropic Vibes on Twitter. But as usual, I just want to thank you for taking time to listen to this as we're learning and building Web3 together. So until next time, later. The Nifty Business Arrow is not investment advice. It provides insights and information within the space. As with anything, please do your own research before making a decision whether you're making an investment or a purchase.